So you saw something on my Facebook?
No, on the Facebook group.
And decided to come to my personal residence to give me information about peaceful protest?
Yes.
So are the Peterborough Police, no, you're with OPP?
OPP.
Are you guys now monitoring people's Facebook pages or Facebook groups to who comments as to what their status updates are or what they're doing or within the group?
Just because of the protest happening province-wide, yes, we have been monitoring the protest.
Okay.
So there's a protest coming up. I'm simply providing you with information about a peaceful protest, and now I'm leaving.
So the Ontario Provincial Police are watching what people are doing on Facebook in different groups, whether or not they're commenting, participating, liking, and you guys are now doing service calls. Okay. I'm hoping that you guys aren't going to waste our tax dollars continuing to do this to everybody, but now it's nice to know that we're being watched. So,
if you have any questions, my cell phone number is on the card.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait, this can't be true,
that have been on
right?
Here. We pre-positioned 120 engines, helicopters, dozers, water tenders. We did that on Sunday, 2 days before this event.
To rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire.
They killed a man at a ceremony.
Yeah.
In front of you?
Yeah, in front of all of us. He started screaming when they began to cut. After a while, you know, he died. I'd seen a few killings before then.
Let me get this right now. Are you saying that you saw more than one person killed in that house?
Yeah. I've seen loads of babies killed there. Just newborn babies. Or aborted ones, which were only small. You know, 4-year-olds. Any age, really.
What little girl?
My little girl, Alex. She's about 4 now.
You mean you had a child?
Yeah.
How old were you when you had that child?
11.
Motherhood at the age of 11. But from what Teresa told her mother, it wasn't the only pregnancy.
What would happen to the fetuses, the unborn babies?
I used to be taken away most of the time, and one time a baby was taken out of me and then killed in front of me. But we were also made to eat it.
You were made to eat your own fetus?
Yeah.
How did they get rid of the bodies?
They had a tub, you know, pretty big, I don't know. A very big tub, and they used to put the bodies and bones in there. And it used to go like, you know, fizzy and that.
Under the criminal code, this is uttering threats and this is harassment under the criminal code. And under the Ontario Health and Privacy Act, you have no right to ask me for my medical status at all. It's against the law. And under the Immunization Act, you cannot demand that I be immunized for any goods or service or contract. It is against the law. You are breaking the law. The government did not mandate this because they don't want to be held liable.
Exactly.
And that's why the government didn't do it.
That's why they're tricking businesses into doing it.
But the businesses become liable. Under the criminal code, under the human rights code, and under civil action, you guys become liable for breaking the law. And I've got the laws right here for you to read. I have no problem sharing the laws with you. Our job...
I'm scared, and I'm scared to vaccinate her, which is why I didn't vaccinate her in the first place, and which led me to read about the warnings that are out there. And what I've learned are there warnings about introducing these alien microorganisms into our children's blood, and the long-term effects, which could be trivial, or they could be quite hazardous, and they could be just allergies, or asthma, or sleep disorders, or they could be cancer, leukemia, multiple sclerosis, sudden infant death syndrome. It's very scary, and it's very serious, and I think because I felt wrong doing it, that's why I didn't do it. And, you know, I mean, we have to think twice. Why are our children getting these diseases?
And what is the biochemical legacy of the vaccination? How long does it last, and what might it be its effect? Yeah. You're putting something into your baby's bloodstream. Everybody ought to think about that twice.
The Hampshire Police would realise how ridiculous this is. It is. Look, I'm happy to come to this.
What did it need to come to?
Tell us why you escalated it to this level, because I don't understand. I posted something that he posted, you come to arrest me, you don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because there's something he shared, then I shared.
if someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. That's the reason why you've been arrested.
Richard, can I ask you a serious question? About young comedians. About young girls, ask me about that. You don't like young girls? Say you don't like young girls or something. Smile if I don't like young girls. No, I like young girls. Yeah, I fuck them. I ain't no good, ain't trying to be no good. I ain't no good, ain't trying to be no good.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good director, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
You have a daughter who's a really good-looking chick. Well, you may be able to change her life and improve your financial status. Because Prince Andrew is looking for a new girlfriend. Just drop a nude photo of your little nymphette in a self-addressed stamped envelope and mail it to Royal Affair, Buckingham Palace.
Una organización que en vez de enfrentar estos conflictos invierte tiempo y esfuerzo en imponerle a los países pobres que cómo y deben producir, con quién vincularse, qué deben comer y en qué creer, como pretende dictar el presente pacto del futuro. Toda esta larga lista de errores y contradicciones no ha sido gratuita, sino que ha redundado en la pérdida de credibilidad de las Naciones Unidas ante los ciudadanos del mundo libre y en la desnaturalización de sus funciones. Por eso, quiero hacer una advertencia. Estamos ante un fin de ciclo. El colectivismo y el postureo moral de la agenda woke se han chocado con la realidad y ya no tienen soluciones creíbles para ofrecer a los problemas reales del mundo. De hecho, nunca las tuvieron. Si la Agenda 2030 fracasó, como reconocen sus propios promotores, la respuesta debería ser preguntarnos si no fue un programa mal concebido de inicio, aceptar esa realidad y cambiar el rumbo. No se puede pretender persistir en el error redoblando la apuesta de una agenda que ha fracasado. Siempre ocurre lo mismo con las ideas que vienen de la izquierda. Diseñan un modelo acorde a lo que el ser humano debería hacer, según ellos, y cuando los individuos libremente actúan de otra manera, no tienen mejor solución che restringir, reprimir y coartar su libertà.
Io penso che ci sia un problema di compatibilità tra la cultura islamica o certa interpretazione della cultura islamica e i diritti e i valori della nostra civiltà. A me non sfugge che la gran parte dei centri culturali islamici in Italia sono finanziati dall'Arabia Saudita e l'Arabia Saudita è una nazione che a casa sua applica la Sharia e Sharia significa lapidazione per l'adulterio, pena di morte per apostasia, pena di morte per omosessualità. Credo che queste questioni vadano poste, che non vuol dire generalizzare sull'Islam, vuol dire porre il problema che c'è in atto un processo di islamizzazione dell'Europa che è molto distante dai valori della nostra civiltà.
Я знаю твой телефон, но никогда не позвоню. И дышим мы в унисон и набирай, не люблю, ты далеко, далеко смеется даже небеса.
My daughter, right here, sweetheart, tell these, do you want a little boy to watch you?
No.
No, why?
Because it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. My 8-year-old daughter knows it's inappropriate, and yet y'all sit there silent. One of you told me that your personal views don't align with the views you show to the public. That is not how you do it. That should show every parent in this county that you are not fit to sit on this board. Every one of you. Tell me you didn't say that this is not your job, that it should be left up to the ethics committee. I've heard you say it's not my job when it came to the books being in these schools. It is your job to look over who's in charge of catching those books. All you do is smile. Rob, I don't have a problem with you, but this has got to stop, because I'm going to tell you, y'all come up here and talk about vaping and the dangers of vaping. If a little boy follows my daughter in that bathroom and touches her, you will have a new radar of dangers. This is ridiculous. You're opening up opportunity for problems to happen. You either create a new bathroom for those who are confused, or you send them to the staff bathroom. It's a very simple problem. We don't change policy for tens of thousands of people to accommodate. There is no problem what people do on their personal level. That is not my business, nor your business, nor anybody's business. That is their choice. But I tell you what, I want to prove that you're all hypocrites. Because each of you ladies, I want you to invite your husbands. Let's go to the bathroom. And I want them to watch me watch you use the bathroom. And let's see if they get mad.
Enoch Burke here. I'm standing outside the Bank of Ireland branch in Castlebar, County Mayo. When I left my workplace today, Wilson's Hospital School, at about 5:30 in the evening, I checked my bank balance and this is what I found. €0 in my bank account. I have been robbed of €40,617 by the courts. Judge David Nolan, Mr. Rossa Fanning, the Attorney General, and the government all working hand in hand. These people are millionaires. They're driving out of the forecourts in their big cars, but they're vultures sniffing around now to take from me everything I own, to strip from me every asset I have, and to look for anything that I might have that they can take away. That's what these people are doing. We know it all goes back to the fact that in 2022, I was demanded by Principal Niamh McShane to promote transgenderism in the school where I worked. A demand made by that principal, Niamh McShane, still a principal in a school down in Cork, a demand that should never have been made and should not be made today because there is no shred of legal authority for that demand to be made. But of course, the Minister for Education, Norma Foley, now the Minister for Children, when she was confronted by my family, or asked by my family when I was incarcerated about this issue in 2022, she ran away. She was telling the public lies, saying that this wasn't being taught in schools and classrooms, that it wouldn't happen, but of course it did happen. And the Department for Education is dealing illegally in this matter. The current Minister for Education, Helen McEntee, she is dealing illegally in this matter. And that's the whole problem here from the very beginning. When you go to court, the judges are running out the door. They will not deal with this issue. And it's very sad to be in that state in the country where the judges are telling lies, where the government's working along with them. And of course, we now know that we've got very bad, we've been told now today that, you know, the country is going to have a great recession, tens of thousands of jobs to be lost, maybe a lot more than that, hundreds of thousands. We're being told this by Paschal Donoghue. He's telling us that hard times are coming. You know why? Because he's not fit to rule this country. We know they went to America. There was a lot of spin. But you know, the Americans, it didn't go down well with the Americans because they could smell, I would say, simply the spin. Paschal Donoghue is looking to Europe now, but he's defying God and the rest of the government. Micheál Martin, Helen McEntee, they're defying God in this country. But righteousness exalts a nation. Righteousness, giving people their just liberties, giving them their due, giving them the right.
Okay, so
what do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
okay, well I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network under
What?
127 of the Communications Act. Okay, so you do not have to say it. That may harm your defence if you don't mention one question subject to later or in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested?
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take
and-
you up to the police station.
Right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets?
I got my keys. I got... No, that's about it, I think. Keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Policing and Evidence Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
Hey, I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what? Information? I'm going to be arrested for posting on Facebook.
Made some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's
And can you tell me what this comment was?
Okay, well we'll do that when we interview.
All right. And so, what am I going to be locked up for the night, or?
Hopefully not.
Right. Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
Yes, we will look at taking all of those.
When do you need to take them?
Well, I've got pain medications. I've got sleeping medication. I've got anxiety medications, which I might take one of those in a bit.
Okay.
You know.
Well, if we take everything with us, then you've got everything there, haven't you?
And then we've got a nurse up there. They'll be able to.
Okay.
They'll be able to come and see you, and then once you've been there, they can assess whether or not medication can be issued. All right. So what we're going to do is, if you want to pop yourself up, we're just going to search.
You need the glasses.
Yeah, search you.
To come with you.
My glasses.
Yeah. Do you want to take them with you?
Why?
First of all, I'm going to seize this, okay, as evidence.
Well.
So let's.
Yale scientists discovered that the COVID vaccines cause what's called post-vaccination syndrome, bring about long-term biological changes years after the injection.
Frankly, I'm shocked, Rick.
Yeah, they caught up with our conspiracy theory, didn't they? So there it is. Yale scientists link COVID vaccines to alarming new syndrome with long-term effects. It's not a new one. They're just finally admitting what many of us were telling people years ago: don't take this shot.
Yes.
Don't take the kill shot. But it says experts from Yale University have uncovered a new concerning condition linked to the COVID-19 vaccines dubbed post-vaccination syndrome. It not only comes with a host of uncomfortable symptoms, but also causes persistent biological changes.
Don't want those. Persistent biological changes?
Are you talking about biological changes caused by an operating system that was injected into people's bodies? What do you think's causing the biological changes? You downloaded an operating system.
Yes.
That's manipulating your genes.
Yes, and so the scientists also identified a troubling connection between long-term post-vaccination syndrome and the reactivation of a virus known as Epstein-Barr. Remember, we talked about this several years ago. Normally it remains dormant, but it's a dormant agent that resides in most people and causes flu-like symptoms. In fact, it has a lot of similarity even to AIDS. The findings are the result of research conducted on blood samples collected from 42 people diagnosed with PVS, post-vaccination syndrome, and comparing them to a control group. The results showed that those with PVS had different proportions of immune cells compared to the control group, as well as elevated levels of COVID spike proteins years after being vaccinated. You know, I don't know if you caught this story, I don't know if it was the beginning of this week or late last week, where Keir Starmer said that he had taken an AIDS test.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I did see that.
That's what I was reminded of when I saw the story earlier today, because some are making the connection that we're about to see an explosion of the AIDS virus again.
From the people who were vaccinated.
Right.
my nigga gotta fucking kidnap kids. Fuck them in they ass, throw them over the bridge. That's how it is.
Jesus even told one near-death experiencer I interviewed that God gives children pets in order to teach them about love and how to love. Listen as Randy, a former CEO who grew up as a child bullied and without other friends, but had a dog that he loved. Listen to how they both talk about the amazing reunion of heaven.
And the people I saw in heaven all were through the reflective eyes of Jesus, who would infuse his presence through me. So now I was full of joy, and I was seeing the people in heaven who were full of joy. And Jesus escorted me to the time back as a child, and I had one good friend. I said I'd been bullied in school. They moved, and I didn't have a friend. And Jesus was showing me this. And I was amazed. Jesus was telling me I was there this whole time. You didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. And he was showing me I was there. I was waiting for you. And but I had my dog. I had my dog Casey. Casey was my savior. I mean, I came home from a bad day and self-isolation, watching TV or doing homework. And Casey would jump up, lick me like a lollipop, and I would watch him face off with the squirrel in the backyard. And he was my everything. He died when I was in college. And he said, turn around. And he waved like this. And I looked around. It was Casey. And I was in heaven at this time. And Casey was there jumping up, and I held him. And he kissed me like a lollipop, And then I set him down, and he ran off into the field, blooming with flowers. He said this. He said, see?
Jesus said this?
Jesus said, see, I give you the desires of your heart.
God is so good. I mean, do you realize that? Just like Randy said, Jesus told Randy he wants to give you the desires of your heart. And that's what heaven is, when God finally meets the deepest desires of your heart, because that's who God is. And because of his nature, and because not only of what the Bible says, but also what indie ears say, I'm convinced your pets are going to be there with you. If you just think about that, if God is love and he gives us pets to learn to love as children, but also we love them as adults, and heaven is the kingdom of love, why would God not have our pets there with us when love is made perfect?